Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Anything and Everything on IMI Radio, a show where we get to talk about anything and everything around the world. Today, we have interesting package and interesting things to talk about. Today, we are going to talk about the ability to speak up, the ability to say your mind, the ability to be able to, not allow the circumstance of life weigh you down, not allow, the things that keep people down, keep you down, the ability to, speak up, say your truth, say it as it is, and then move on and then get to see what life holds for you. We live in a world where people die in silence. We live in a world where nothing seems to be working. People just seem to be, living quietly and not looking out for the next man, not looking out for their own people, and also for the shame of, being called out, or for whatever reason I don't understand. It is normal for in life to face ups and downs. It is normal to go through horrors. It is normal that things will not always go your way. There will be a sun down, and then there will be a setting sun also. So in this course of life, what do we do when we are faced with such challenges? What do we get to do when we are faced with such problems and such difficulties? Do we just resign ourselves to faith, or do we move on trying to see how we get to better our lives? So that's what we'll be talking about today. The ability to speak up, the ability to keep our hopes high despite the odds, despite the difficulties, despite all life might want to hit at us. So it is for that very reason that we are having our show today, and it is on that angle we will be anchored, and we will be encouraging you in this journey to, say your truth, to say things as they are, not to die in silence, not to allow the difficulties and the challenges of life weigh you down, put you in a corner that is so difficult. And to kickstart today's program, we will be taking a musical break now, and the first person on our list here is Dax. Dax, he's To Be a Man. musical break, we just listened to Dax, What It Is to Be a Man. Indeed, it is not easy to be a man. It is very, very difficult. It is not just also being about a man here. It's also being about a woman. It's also being about human. It's also being about whatsoever you are. We can, beyond the gender in this particular song, we could look at this from different angles and then get to see what we can learn, what we can really, really, get to tell ourselves about this particular song and how it resonates with us, how it resonates with whatsoever we are doing, how it resonates with our person. It is about being a man. It is about being a human. It is about, the daily struggles and daily hurdles in life, the daily problems we get to face as humans. It goes a long way to tell us, despite whatsoever challenge we're going through, what it takes to be human, it's very, very difficult. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a human being in our time and in our day. So what could be the reason for you keeping quiet? What could be the reason for you not sharing your problems? What could be the reasons for you not talking to your father, talking to your mother, sharing your health challenges or the likes of such? There are a whole lot of reasons people come up with. People come up with reasons such as, I don't want to offend my friends. I don't want to make my family members feel bad. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. But in the long run, it still goes a long way to say a lot about us. Why do we ordinarily want to die in silence rather than talk to people, rather than, keep in touch with human beings and the likes like that? There are a lot of reasons, actually. There are 1,001 reasons why people don't talk to people. There are 1,001 reasons why people just keep to themselves. There are 1,001 reasons why some persons just don't want to talk to people. It's difficult. We are growing very, very individualistic human beings in our world today. We are growing at the rate that is alarming, especially, as we continually explore the technological world and how it tends to reach out to meet the daily societal needs of the society and our world, we get to see that, there's a whole lot of problems already. Problems of real-time communication. It's not enough to reach out to people on phone, send them text messages. Do we really know them when we get to meet them? We get to see this also in how people get to react to, messages online, messages on WhatsApp, messages on Facebook, particularly messages on, social media platforms that basically don't have the people physically present. You get to see some comment section and you'll be like, wow, is this really somebody? Is this really a human being commenting on the deeds of another person? Is this person really being serious here right now? You get to see how savage we've become. You get to see how barbaric we've become in how we relate to one and to all. So it goes a long way to, say people just get so uncomfortable by disturbing others. But what would that do to you? Will it solve the problem if you don't talk to people? Will the problem get bettered? Will you get a grasp of these things when you don't get to share them with people? No, it doesn't just happen like that. It is in our ability to talk to people, to talk to one, to talk to all, that we get to grow. So what are you going through? Are you going through a period of despair? Are you going through a period of low funds? Are you going through a period of, difficulties, challenges in your life? I can tell you for free, I have had my fair share of the difficulties of life. I am pretty much a young man and still very much alive. I don't know how long I have left, but I still think in the grand scale of weighing those who have really, really lived, I haven't lived so long, but I have had my fair share of difficulties, my fair share of challenges, my fair share of, the blows and the beatings that life can give us, as well as the the joys it can also bring. And I can tell you for free, speaking up and being truthful to yourself first and then being truthful to the next person can go a long way in helping resolve real-time issues. It will really, really help if we can really, really talk to ourselves, talk to one another about the challenges we get to have in life. They said a problem shared is a problem half solved. It's just the truth about life. It's just the truth about how things are. We can keep to ourselves and then expect things to go for the good. We can keep to ourselves and then expect things to go for the better and the likes of such. We have to speak up. We have to talk. We have to be truthful to ourselves and, and then get to see how life plays out to us. I know it's very, very difficult to speak out. It's very, very difficult to talk about challenges and problems, from abuse to disrespect to, discomfort in a relationship and the likes of this. There are a whole lot of problems that can arise when it comes to really, really speaking out. But I can tell you for free, it frees you when you are able to air your mind, when you are able to, come out and say, this, that, I don't really like this. And this, I'm going through this health challenge. I am going through this difficulty in my life. I am going through this problem in my life. And I think if I talk to somebody, I can far more get better. In countries and in continents where, and on continents where there are psychologists, I encourage you, my listeners, to explore these possibilities in places where there are close-knit families, like African countries where people still, more than ever, still daily interact with people and talk to people so often. I also encourage that you get to talk to one, you get to talk to two, you get to talk to a whole lot of persons. Try to find a community where you can comfortably speak up, where you can comfortably air yourself and, express yourself and talk very, very plainly and clearly. And I guess it will help. It will help in the long run. And as we continue to reflect on this topic, we take a musical break. And here we are traveling to the shores of Nigeria and we'll be listening to Omale, Understand. Welcome back from the musical break. We just listened to Malay, and he's talking about understand, our ability to get to understand one another. So what are the barriers that could be the stumbling block upon which people don't get to talk to themselves? There are a whole lot: personal disposition, one sense of integrity, one sense of secrecy, and the likes of, things like this can be reasons why people don't necessarily get to feel comfortable in talking to people. But then the simple question here remains: what does someone lose in sharing one's problem with another person? What seeming demons could be tormenting our lives? Demons here metaphorically, and also demons here maybe in fact. What could there be that could be tormenting our lives that we think others don't get to know, that we think others should not come to know? Is it really, really worth the time? Is it really worth the stress of keeping? A whole lot of persons have died from diseases that could be cured. A whole lot of persons have allowed their situation gone south because of them refusing to speak up and to speak out. But also, this is not just all there is to this problem. A whole lot of persons have also refused or have decided never again to open up to people. Probably because how people get to treat their story when they decided to tell their stories to people. Take for instance, somebody comes to you and confides in you, about a particular problem that is disturbing him or her, and then all you could think about is to, get to share this with another person. And this person said, I am telling you this in confidence. I am saying, please don't let another person get to know this, and I'm really, really being serious, and it's been difficult for me to speak out and to speak up, and then I find you a bit trustworthy to share this piece of advice with you. Even if this person didn't get to tell you this, it is not your duty to go about, disbursing or distributing these stories to other people. You should be able to stay with this story, listen. In our generation and in our world today, people hear to react. Emphasis on hear. People don't really listen to people. Some persons just want to talk. Some persons just really want to share their ideas. Some persons just want somebody to help them get a reality check. Some persons don't really need to be where they are today, but it is because of how you have treated their story. It is because of how I have treated their story. It is because of how we have, sold out ourselves and the level of trust certain persons can have in our persons that have made some persons vowed never to get to share with other persons their secret. So it's a two-way thing. Some persons don't feel like sharing again because they feel it will not be heard, and even if it's heard, it will not be kept, and even if it's kept, probably the person won't keep it in total or may use that as a yardstick to get to judge them. But is it worth dying for? That you just get to, keep things, swallow them up, and then die with them in silence? I know some secrets are worth dying with and for, but at the same time, things that can be changed should be changed. Things that can be managed should be managed. Things that can be bettered should be bettered. Things that can be improved upon should be. Things that should be changed should completely be changed. So it remains a fact, it remains a necessity in our generation and in our time that we need to grow ourselves and we need to grow our minds to be accommodating. We need to grow ourselves to be a people who listen to others, to be a people who really wants to see us progress, who really wants to see the universe get to work better. It doesn't happen or it doesn't come about in a vacuum. It takes a whole lot. It takes a whole lot of planning. It takes a whole lot of working. And until we get to that level, we will just be hanging and being here. We have to lean on each other. We have to hold on to others. So we take another musical break here and then get to listen to Bill, Lean on Me. Call me, call me, call me if you need a friend. If you need somebody to talk to, call me. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out to the person. If you miss somebody, tell them. If you love somebody, say so. life is very short. Life is for the living, so we have to live it. It reminds me of Passenger's song, Let Her Go. Only know your lover when you let her go. Only miss the rain when only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you were high when you're getting low. Only hit the road when you're missing home. These are not just lines for musical and artistic meaning alone. They have deeper meaning than we can tell. They have meanings far-reaching. They have meanings beyond what we can see. How can we better ourselves? How can we better our society? We have to begin to talk to ourselves. We have to begin to accept the fact that, we don't have it all. We don't know it all. We have to begin to accept the fact that we can be better. We can get better. We can do better. It is only then that things probably will go the right direction for us, will go the right direction for one and for many. Without this, I begin to ask questions as to how and when progress will really take place. The world is becoming highly and greatly cosmopolitan, and we have to embrace this. We cannot live in quiet and in truth. More men, more than women, in our society have been told not to cry, not to show emotion, not to feign affection, not to be cynical about love and all that. But we know love also is as perennial as the grass. We know all this, but at the same time, showing emotion is human, and it doesn't have to do with gender. It doesn't have to do with our sexes. It should be expressed by one. It should be expressed by all. What is good for me is good for me, as it is good for you. It doesn't select. It doesn't really select. Sorrow chooses nobody. One person doesn't feel sorrow and then others are all good. It can happen at different times, but we are in this together. We are all humans. We are limited. We have a bias. We have our weaknesses. We have our strength. But it still goes a long way to say, for real and for sure, that for us to progress and for us to move forward as a people, we have to help one another. We have to stand there for one another. Where one lacks, let the other complement. It is the reason why we are here. We cannot all be carpenters. We cannot all be doctors. We cannot all be engineers. We cannot be everything all by ourselves. We can only be ourselves. I can only be Birinkpa bin Mecca. You can only be Joan. You can only be Agnes. You can only be Fiona. You can only be Joel. You can only be Chinedu. You can only be Mustafa. You cannot be Shegun and at the same time being Tolu. You cannot be Detola and at the same time be Theophilus. You cannot be Banku and at the same time be Barong. You can bear these names if they are all your names, but it's going to be very, very weird that you get to bear all these names. And even if we're talking here beyond nominal representations and perspectives, you can only be you. That is why they say being is being. It is only you in this world with your fingerprints and all there is to you. You are the only person around the world. There's no replicate or there's no replica of you anywhere in the world. You are alone. You are distinct. You are unique. And you should come to accept that. And the only way this can really, really happen, it is when we complement each other. The right hand washes the left hand, and the left hand washes the right hand. The right hand and the left hand combines to wash the mortar, and then the mortar combines to wash also the hands that get to wash the mortar and the pestle. So we get to grow by helping others. Davido, the Nigerian musician, has come to popularize that saying that we rise by lifting others. It is not something to be taken for granted. The world will be so boring if you are the only person who gets to be well and to be healthy and to be wealthy and to be all the things you can be by yourself. It wouldn't make sense. It can only make sense when those around you also can taste this sense of riches. Those around you can also taste this sense of, joy, this sense of happiness. Be you a rich man having mansions, if there are gutters and if there are ghettos across your fence, man, you are poor. You might not be poor in terms of financial poverty, but you will be poor in other ways, because how does somebody get happy around poverty? How does somebody get happy when others around him or her aren't? It won't work. So it goes a long way to say, and Thomas Aquinas gets to tell us about the wealth we have. The wealth we have beyond what we need to sustain ourselves and to sustain our businesses belongs to others, belongs to the poor particularly. That was what he said. And it might look a bit too dogmatic, it might look a bit too utopian and all that, but that is what it is to life. The myth in money, the myth we've been told and what we've come to accept as money, it's not just money. Money is not the paper printed. Money, it's, by the way, most countries and around the world these days, we don't get to print money again. But the digits we see on our bank account, it's part of the myth we've come to accept. It's part of the story we've come to accept as the truth about life. But that is not what there is to life. There is more to life. There is more to this thing we hold, and this thing we tend to think is worth dying for. For those from third world countries, we get to see politicians become increasingly materialistic and cold-hearted, leaving people to die of numerous and crazy diseases while they squander whatsoever they do in lavish lifestyles only for them to still die. The wealth that has been given to you, the position that has been given to you, has not been given to you all for yourself. It's been given to you so you could make the lives of others better. It has not been given to you so you just burn down the bridges and then move on with life. No, you cannot live alone. If you are the only person in heaven, heaven is definitely going to be boring. If we happen to get there, and then we get to discover that there is a heaven and then there's just one person there, I don't think I want to be there. I want to be where others are. Even it looks like a heresy, but even if that means hell will be very, very heavenly with everybody being there than being in heaven where there will be just one person. So heaven will be hellish if there's just one person there and maybe just you, and hell will be very, very heavenly if it has every other person there. Beyond the argument or the Thomistic argument for the beatific vision as the real ideal for heaven, it goes a long way to tell us why we need others. We need others. We need others, my people. We need others, my brothers and sisters. We need others. We cannot do it on our own. We cannot get ourselves pregnant. We cannot love ourselves as we ought to love ourselves, because love given must also be taken. We cannot bear children all by ourselves. The man needs the woman to do that. The woman needs the man to do that. The children need parents. Parents need children. Society need doctors. And we will only kill ourselves if we don't come to help ourselves and come to see that things get to work out for all. So if you're out there and you're having challenges, if you're out there and you think you need to talk to somebody, if you're out there and you think it is necessary that you reach out to one person, to reach out to two persons, reach out to three persons, please Don't hesitate to do so. Speak up, speak out. Have you been abused? It's not too late to speak out. Have you been wrongly accused? It's not too late to speak out. Are you battling a terminal disease that is about to wreck your world apart? Please speak out. Have you recently incurred a debt you cannot pay? Please speak up. It's money you are owing, it's credit you are owing. You have not done anything beyond this. In Nigeria, we get to say, na credit that a no key person. So saying statements like that won't kill us. And life can be solved. The problems in life can be resolved if we get to speak out, if we get to talk, if we get to begin to share our problems. First of all, we have to begin by identifying our problems. We cannot just say every time we are fine. At least that's the cliche we've all come to accept. I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. I'm not fine. I have a whole lot going on currently in my life, but it doesn't stop me from moving on and doing things. You might have financial challenges, but it doesn't mean you should be down there. You might be battling with cancer. You might be battling with one terminal disease or the other. You might be battling with addiction from pornography, addiction from masturbation, addiction from cheating. You might even be battling from sex addiction. You might be battling from alcoholism. You might be battling from a whole lot of things. You might be gradually getting depressed and all that. And you might think you don't have a way out. But I think you do. We all do. We all can get better. We are not so irredeemable. Human beings have this gift of the fact that not just humans, life itself, life is so unpredictable that there seems to be joy in the uncertainty in our world. Somebody can just make our world get better and get us changed for good. We take another musical break here, listening to Dax on depression. If there's any other thing we are saying for today's episode, is don't bottle up. Don't allow things get to eat you up. Your life is not so boring that you don't have one person you can comfortably rely on and then get to talk about things. If it gets to that level, then it's a problem. I think we should be able to talk to people. We should be able to tell people our problems. We should be able to tell people, you know what, this is what's going on with me. This is what's not going on with me. This is where I think we can get better. This is where we think we can do things better and stuff like that. And it will help. I tell you for free, it will definitely help. We shouldn't just allow things to go there for chance. Don't allow them bottle you up. Don't allow them tell you you're not good enough. Don't allow them tell you you cannot progress. Don't allow them tell you. Don't allow them tear you apart. Sound your gong. Amarachi Atama will always say, sound your gong. Sound your gong. Sell yourself. Speak your truth. Say it freely. The world is becoming increasingly individualistic in many ways and on many fronts, and it's not helping us in many ways. Speak up. Speak up. Say your mind. Say your mind. Say your truth. Be very, very unapologetic about that. Don't get to, silence yourself. Speak out, speak up. There are a whole lot of problems already in the world. Yours will not kill you if you speak up, if you get to open up, and then if you get to talk about a whole lot of things. And to wrap up for today's program, we we we've been called upon to, increasingly talk about a whole lot of things that will make us grow, things that can make us better, and then things that can see us become better humans than the humans we are today. And it is our duty to be able to tell ourselves the truth, that we all need help, and we all can't help ourselves all at the same time. We all need salvation, we all need saving, we all need talking to, and we also need to talk to people. And we cannot do this if we bottle up and then keep things to ourselves and stuff like that. We can only get better if we come together as a people, if we come together as a nation to, help ourselves. And that's the only way things can get better for us. So I encourage each and every one of us to, speak our truth, to say our minds, to be truthful to the fact that, winter is but a season. Winter is but a season. They might not hear you, but at least die trying. Don't just wait for death to come and pick you. Don't just wait for this thing to just happen. Be very, very intentional about the essence and the cause of your life. There are a whole lot of persons depending on you, depending on what you get to share with them and what you don't get to share with them. And you shouldn't just die like that. It's just what I'm saying. You necessarily might not die. It's not necessarily something that will kill you, but if something can make you better, why not? Why just settle for less? Why not, speak your truth and then speak your mind and then get to see who gets to listen to you and how it gets to help you and how it gets to better you and how it gets to see you grow and, see you get to progress. As we wrap up the show for today and we wrap up this episode, I just give a shout out to Michael, who is trying by all means to, make things work for himself. And he has great dreams and he wants to study, journalism greatly and do very, very well in the University of New York University for a graduate program. But seemingly he's facing some financial challenges and he's not keeping quiet. He's a young Nigerian who knows what he wants, and he lost out a chance last year because of financial constraint and all that. But this year he got a scholarship for a master's in journalism and all that, and it's a very, very tough period for him and his family. But he's calling out and he's asking. He has a GoFund and he wants as many persons to help him, because how else can we do it? If you don't speak out, if you don't speak up, nobody gets to know your story. He's just trying to do what he has to do, and I pray kind individuals out there would come to see to it that this young man really, really needs help and gets the necessary help he deserves, because indeed he's a great cultural critic and analyst of the African continent, and not just that, beyond. And I pray he finds the help he needs. And as many persons out there that are like Michael, who need one or two help, who need one or two salvation. Michael is not ordinarily from a poor home. He's not from a poor background, but things are just seemingly tight for him. And it's just so sad to see all what one has worked for just crumble. And it's so sad that sometimes somebody just have to just stand and stare and watch all they have built crumbled, and all they can do is just to stay and look. That is the most loneliest moment in one's life, just staring and looking why one's wall get to crumble. So if there's any message I'm leaving you with today, is the fact that we must always speak up. We must speak up. Shout, scream out loud if it will save us. Bury the shame. Know those you also talk to. You can talk to certain persons. Learn from those you've spoken to and see how they reacted. Get to see how you can get better with others. But talk to somebody. I can assure you it gets better when you talk to somebody. The world is not so existentially crazy that there are no meanings in life. There are a whole lot of meanings in life, but when you carry the burden of the world on your shoulder, the meaning depreciates, just like when you drop a bucket of muddy water in an ocean. It doesn't really show as when you drop that same bucket of murky water in, let's say, 40 liters of 40 liter of water. It is the degree we get to look at this that get to give us these different perspectives in life and all that. So please speak up, speak out, talk to as many persons as you think it's possible. I have been a benefactor of people's benevolence. I think it's Kaurana who said, man is a benefactor of another man's benevolence. And whatsoever must have made that German theologian of great repute from Jesuit upbringing to have said that, he really meant it, and it's really the truth. We are all benefactors of one another from different angles in life and from different perspectives. So going forward, please, let's try our very best to talk to one another, to build a community of humans beyond phones, gadgets, and computers, to talk to real people in life. And if you are the type somebody has found you worthy to talk to you, please try and listen. No matter what you think you're doing, please try and listen. It is very important that you get to listen, because a whole lot go on behind our backs that we don't get to know what people are going through. If we see through people's heart, we know that actually we need to be kind in our world. We need compassion. We need to be there for one another. We need to be there for people. But it's unfortunate how sometimes we ignore. And if you're out there and you think you can help as much as you can, reach out to as many persons. If you've made this money, please set up NGOs, set up foundations that can help alleviate the suffering and the problems people are. If you're a psychologist out there, shout out to you. If you're a therapist out there, shout out to you. If you're a counselor out there, shout out to you. If you're a guardian out there, shout out to you. If you've been a listening mom, if you've been a listening dad, shout out to you. If you've been a listening friend, shout out to you. If you've been a listening brother, a listening sister, a listening colleague in office, a listening friend, I'm giving you a thumbs up and a big shout out. Thank you for saving the world. Thank you for reducing the pain around us. And if you've not been so good and so wonderful a friend out there, please try your very best to be a little bit kind. To be a little bit kind, it won't kill. It would only get to better your life. It will only get to see you grow yourself. So please, it is very necessary that we get to live our lives better. As we wrap up the show today, and for this episode on anything and everything, we wrap up with a music by P Square. It is titled Bring It On.
Ooh, bring it on, bring it on. You, bring it on.
know the sweet though. Hey, if some people know the hate too. So use the number 6 so and calculate. You go see the ratio. The beef self na meat yo. Whether na asu them relate to. So bring your own crayfish yo. We go mix so oh Lord. Shane and them talk say we no go blow. Share them they see us now. We don't they glow. Take a look at me now. Take a look at me now. We're running things in this town. Can't you see?
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Unu ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Unu ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall.
And rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rising.
Bring it on.
This life is not easy. So much hustling and puzzling. Everyone is struggling. So make you know they believe say. Since everyone is chasing, you're never gonna make it. Never say no, never give up. Keep your head up, standing tall. And for sure, you go turn it up, turn down for what? Hey, Shane and them talk say, we no go blow. Share them they see us now, we don't they glow. Take a look at me now, take a look at me now. We're running things in this town. Can't you see?
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Unu ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Unu ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head up high and standing tall.
And rising, rising, rising. Keep it high, rising, rising.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, or what you do. Just as long as you're chasing money, do what's right, never give up on it. Bring it on, bring it on.
Are you ready? Unu ready?
No matter how you try, don't you ever fall. Keep your head